This is Warriors Sound Live.
Here comes Curry. Step back off the dribble three. Are you kidding me?
Here's Lawrence Scott.
Thank you, NBA Draft Lottery Talk, plus an exclusive offer for Warriors Sound listeners with a promo code for the Warriors Shop online to be revealed and some playoffs talk from inside the bubble ahead as we start with Stephen Curry representing the Warriors for the NBA Draft Lottery on Thursday night and Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum revealing the draft order.
The second pick goes to the Golden State Warriors, and that means that the number one pick in the 2020 NBA Draft goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
With the Warriors securing the second overall pick, this some of the commentary on the ESPN telecast from analyst Jay Williams, part of a broadcast hosted by Rachel Nichols.
Jay, what do you think Golden State's biggest need is going to be? Do you think that they should make a deal for this number 2 pick, or do you think they should acquire someone to be alongside Steph, Clay, Draymond, and Andrew Wiggins?
Rach, it depends on, what other teams are willing to offer and, what kind of trade scenario can you put in place and how much value is that on the likes of the player that they're looking for. Obviously, that's going to be up to them to determine in Bob Myers. But when I think about a player who's actually on the board, think about James Wiseman. When you look at his size, and I know the sample size is small for people because he only played a limited amount of games at Memphis this year. But the size, the frame, the tenacity he could bring to this team defensively, being alongside with Draymond Green and Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, as a screener, a pick and pop player as well, he might be one of the missing links for this team. The rich continue to get richer.
The Warriors now have 3 picks in the draft, number 2, plus picks 48 and 51 in the second round. And among the many items available in the Warriors shop, found online at shop.warriors.com, is the Warriors' official 2020 draft hat. There are various offers on the site, and we've got one for you here on Warriors Sound with the promo code SOUND at checkout. At shop.warriors.com, the promo code SOUND. Just one of a variety of deals as we now look back to the last time that the Warriors had the second overall pick, and that was 1965, as the team selected the legendary Rick Barry. So no better time than to share one of our latest Warriors remix segments featuring Rick Barry that premiered on the broadcast home of the Warriors radio network, 95.7 The Game. One of the most decorated players in Warriors history, Rick Barry averaged 26 points per game during his 8 seasons with the franchise. Legendary broadcaster Bill King called hundreds of Warriors games with Barry leading the way.
He is one of the greatest forwards ever to play the game. A phenomenal scorer, underrated rebounder, and the best playmaking forward in basketball.
Barry, an 8-time NBA All-Star, collected Rookie of the Year honors in 1966, later helping drive the Warriors to their first championship in the Bay Area in 1975.
I'm going to try to beat you as badly as I can every time I stepped out there on the court. That's the way I was taught how to play the game, to always give my best effort and to play to win.
Enshrined in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 1987, his number 24 was retired by the Warriors in 1988. With this Warriors remix, I'm Lawrence Scott. We now go inside the bubble for a conversation with Warriors broadcaster Bob Fitzgerald in Orlando, calling NBA playoffs games for TNT. Warriors broadcaster Bob Fitzgerald is inside the bubble at the NBA playoffs in Orlando, calling games for TNT. And Fitz, as you arrived, you got to lay out the scene for us. What was it to go inside the bubble and then start doing these national TV broadcasts for TNT as the playoffs are in a different situation, but very, very interesting, I'm sure?
Well, Lawrence, the first and foremost is the health and safety concerns that the league had set up. So when you arrive, you're tested, and then you're quarantined until you get a negative test. And that's for players, coaches, broadcasters, league personnel, anybody. So I don't know if you've been quarantined for 24 hours in a hotel room, but I watched A's Giants and White Sox Cardinals doubleheader and the play-in game with Portland beating Memphis and read, and I brought my golf club, so I was putting in the hotel. And so you're killing time for 24 hours getting ready to broadcast games. Then what is the most amazing is from any of this, what they call the bubble, the Disney World of Sports complex, everyone has a mask on. Everyone at all times until you actually go play in the game and or you broadcast the game. And so the compliance level and the fact that the league has had 0 positive tests speaks to the attention to detail, the health and safety protocols, and the spirit of cooperation and compliance. Everybody here doesn't want to be the person to kind of break the perfect streak and perfect record.
You know, that has been a very safe and successfully safe environment. I'm just kind of wondering about the vibe around that part of the Disney complex. I mean, are people in a good spirit because they're able to productively do work and entertain the country with NBA basketball?
Well, you have three things going on, okay? There is NBA summer camp, basically, because you're seeing players and coaches and all these people that are of your league, and you can't get close to them, but everybody's here. And so that's interesting to have the league in one spot. Then you have the health safety protocol, and oh, by the way, you're competing for a championship, so you have that playoff vibe and how important the games are. And then you have the social justice awareness and the league front and center at a huge movement in our country with some of the most prominent black athletes and black men in the United States. So all three of those things are going on simultaneously. The vibe is upbeat, and people really feel like this is going to be an historic thing to be part of. And 20 years from now, we'll talk about this championship and being part of the bubble in the NBA, and the ability to pull it off successfully is a goal for everyone here. So all three of those things are competing, you know, and all part of this whole experience.
You've done some of the Utah-Denver matchups and also have on Monday Rockets Thunder, great series, and it's really cool to get to see these games on television. For you being there, what's the scene in the broadcasting area? When you do Warriors games, you're down on the court. Is this a different vantage point? How does it help? How is it different?
Well, it's different in that you're about 10 rows up and you're encased in plexiglass. So your stat guy is in a little plexiglass booth, you are, and your color analyst. And it's almost like calling a basketball game in a TV soundstage. Now, watching, they have some crowd noise, they've got the virtual fans, they've got the music and the lights. But when you are calling the game at first, there's no big pyrotechnics introductions, or you're not talking to fans pregame, you're not down and talking to the officials. You're just putting a headset on and then calling the game. Once the game starts, it feels very normal, to be honest. But pregame, it's like, okay, here's tip time, and here's the lineups, and here we go. And that is a very different feel, particularly if you've been in the league for 27 years and seen everything that happens pregame at an NBA event, particularly a playoff game. So to have the idea of, okay, here's the time on the clock and it's time to go, that is odd. But once you get to the basketball itself, the games have been excellent.
From what you can sense, are the players so focused on what they're doing on the court that it really just doesn't matter, that there's not a home crowd maybe to help who is the home team in that given scenario?
Well, there is no home court advantage per se. I think teams have gotten incredibly close because they've spent so much time together, a lot of different conversations, a lot of fun activities. Guys are playing Monopoly and cards and pool and golf and bike riding and going out on boats and things like that. But now that it's the playoffs, there is such a focus on teams that want to advance and play well. And these are great shooting venues. There's not big cavernous backdrop, maybe like a Staples Center. So you're seeing amazing offense. I do think I get the sense from guys for Denver, you know, hey, it's 45, 46, 47 days in the bubble. And that's just a long time to be away from your family and your friends and your kids and that type of stuff. But this is what we all do for a living. And to be able to do it, given the current circumstances in our country, you have to be nothing else but just thankful.
Fitz, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy all of the games ahead. And really, we're so glad to hear you on these broadcasts on TNT and also get to spend some time with you here on Warrior Sound.
Well, I appreciate it, Lawrence. I'm kind of honored to be here, to be honest. I'm having fun, but I think, 10 years from now, you and I are having a beer on the road somewhere. We'll be like, man, remember 2020? And then let's forget the year 2020 at the same time.
All right, and as the playoffs continue, more Warrior Sound shows in the weeks ahead in store. I'm Lawrence Scott. Thank you for joining us.
This has been Warrior Sound Live.
Right side three. Got it!